Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Jaya Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevayam Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistike. So continuing with the discussion on Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, chapter 7, the Lord begins his tour of South India, text 127 onwards. So yesterday we discussed how Mahaprabhu was at the house of Kurma Brahman and he served Mahaprabhu very nicely, and when Mahaprabhu was leaving, he said, I want to come with you. So let's see what Mahaprabhu said. प्रभु कहे ऐचे बात कबू न कहीबा, गृह रहे कृष्ण नाम निरंतर लईबा. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied, don't speak like that again. Better to remain at home and chant the holy name of Krishna always. It's not advisable in this age of Kali to leave one's family suddenly, for people are not trained as proper brahmacharis and grihasthas. Therefore, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu advised a Brahman not to be too eager to give up family life. It would be better to remain with his family and try to become purified by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra regularly under the direction of a spiritual master. This is the instruction of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. If this principle is followed by everyone, there is no need to accept sannyas. In the next verse, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu advises everyone to become an ideal householder by offenselessly chanting the Hare Krishna mantra and teaching the same principle to everyone he meets. So first he said, chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra regularly, and then, Pyar dekh tar kahe Krishna upadesh. Amar agya guru haya tara desh. Instruct everyone to follow the orders of Lord Shri Krishna as they're given in the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. Jara dekho tar kaho Krishna Upadesh. In this way, become a spiritual master and try to liberate everyone in this land. So easy process Mahaprabhu has given. This is the sublime mission of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Many people come and inquire whether they have to give up family life to join the society, but that is not our mission. One can remain comfortably in his residence. We simply request everyone to chant the Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. If one is a little illiterate, if one is a little literate and can read Bhagavad Gita as it is and Srimad Bhagavatam, that is so much the better. These works are now available in an English translation and are done very authoritatively to appeal to all classes of men. Instead of living engrossed in material activities, people throughout the world should take advantage of this moment and chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra at home with their families. One should also refrain from sinful activities, illicit sex, meat eating, gambling, and intoxication. Out of these 4 items, illicit sex is very sinful. Every person must get married. So obviously for grihasthas, they have to get married. Every woman especially must get married. If the women outnumber the men, some men can accept more than one wife. In that way, there will be no prostitution in society. If men can marry more than one wife, illicit sex life will be stopped. One can also produce many nice preparations to offer Krishna from grains, fruits, vegetables, and milk. Why should one indulge in unnecessary meat eating and maintain horrible slaughterhouses? What's the use of smoking and drinking tea and coffee? People are already intoxicated by material enjoyment, and if they indulge in further intoxication, what chance is there for self-realization? Similarly, one should not partake in gambling and unnecessarily agitate the mind. The real purpose of human life is to attain the spiritual platform and return to Godhead. So this is the real purpose. That is the summum bonum of spiritual realization. The Krishna consciousness movement is trying to elevate human society to the perfection of life, pursuing the method described by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his advice to the Brahman Kurma. That is, one should stay at home, chant the Hare Krishna mantra, and preach the instructions of Krishna as they given in Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. So sometimes it is said Prabhupada gave some heavy instructions in this purport, especially about the marriage. If women outnumber the men, and generally they do, some men can accept more than one wife. So the idea is not that every man should go and marry 4 wives or whatever. That's not the idea. Idea is to stop prostitution in the society, stop illicit sex life in the society. And if somebody marries more than one wife, the idea is not to have sense gratification. Idea is to take care of those ladies, and so that everybody can make progress spiritually. That's what he said later on. So summum bonum of spiritual realization is the real purpose of human life is to attain the spiritual platform and return to Godhead, not to get entangled here in the material world. And more we indulge in sense activities, more we will be entangled here. That's for sure. So that is not the goal of life. And similarly, no meat eating, no liquor, alcohol consumption. Just to have simple, pure life so one can make progress spiritually. That's all. But people can misunderstand, misinterpret these instructions. And they'll think, even in ISKCON it has happened. Oh, Prabhupada allowed more than one wife. One has to understand what exactly he's saying, not just and take the outer meaning. Inner meaning is what is important. कबू न बाड़ी पे तुम्हार विषय तरंगा पुनरपि यही ठाई भावे मोर संगा. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu further advised the Brahman Kurma, if you follow this instruction, your materialistic life at home will not obstruct your spiritual advancement. Indeed, if you follow these regulative principles, we'll again meet here, or rather you will never lose my company. So all chant, preach. That's it. Live a simple spiritual life. And that everybody can do. And Mahaprabhu is saying your materialistic life at home will not obstruct your spiritual advancement. So one can definitely make advancement. This is an opportunity for everyone. If one simply follows the instructions of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu under the guidance of his representative and chants the Hare Krishna mantra, teaching everyone as far as possible the same principle, the contamination of the materialistic way of life will not even touch him. It doesn't matter whether one lives in a holy place like Vrindavan, Navdeep, or Jagannath Puri, or in the midst of European cities, where the materialistic way of life is very prominent. If a devotee follows the instructions of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he lives in the company of the Lord. Wherever he lives, he converts that place into Vrindavan and Navdeep. This means that materialism cannot touch him. This is a secret of success for one advancing in Krishna consciousness. It's simple. And obviously, to preach Jade Dekha Tare Krishna Upadesh, one has to read. One has to read the scriptures, read Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, and then preach. It doesn't say we have to be very elaborate, very hi-fi preachers. Just preach to 1 or 2%. That's good enough. The reason is when we preach, first we understand the philosophy properly, and then chances are we will also implement that in our life. And then only we can preach. So that's all simple. And Mahaprabhu said, this way you will never be lost to me, and I'll never be lost to you. You will never lose my company. Ei mata yar ghare kare prabhu bhiksha, sei hachi kaye tare karaye shikshan. At whosoever house Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted his alms by taking prasadam, he would convert the dwellers to his Sankirtan movement and advise them just as he advised the Brahman named Kurma. The cult of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is explained here very nicely. One who surrenders to him and is ready to follow him with heart and soul does not need to change his location. Nor is it necessary for one to change his status. One may remain a householder, a medical practitioner, an engineer, or whatever. It doesn't matter. One only has to follow the instructions of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and instruct relatives and friends in the teachings of the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. Now, this instructing of relatives is very difficult, but friends at least we can do. If not even that, the neighbors, at least the neighbors we can preach to. One has to learn humility and meekness at home, following the instructions of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And in that way, one's life will be spiritually successful. One should not try to be an artificially advanced devotee, thinking I'm a first-class devotee. So it is best not to accept any disciples. Such thinking should be avoided. One has to become purified at home by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra and preaching the principles enunciated by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Thus, one can become a spiritual master and be freed from the contamination of material life. So it sounds so simple, isn't it? There are many Sahajyas who decry the activities of the six Goswamis, Srila Rup, Sanatan, Raghunath Das, Bhatta Raghunath, Jiva, and Gopal Bhatta Goswamis, who are the personal associates of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and who enlightened society by writing books on devotional service. Similarly, Narottam Das Thakur and other great acharyas like Madhacharya, Ramanujacharya, and others accepted many thousands of disciples to induce them to render devotional service. However, there is a class of Sahajyas who think that these activities are opposed to the principles of devotional service. Indeed, they consider such activities simply another phase of materialism. Thus, opposing the principles of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they commit offenses at his lotus feet. They should better consider his instructions, and instead of seeking to be considered humble and meek, should refrain from criticizing the followers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu who engage in preaching. To protect his preachers, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given much clear advice in these verses of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. So Sahajyas, we know they're the sentimentals who don't want to follow the scripture, just want to follow whatever their mind says and claim this is the right way. So, but no, Prabhupada is clearly saying whatever Mahaprabhu is saying. Just follow that, and Mahaprabhu said, I'll never be lost to that person who's chanting and preaching. Simple. पथे याइते देवालय रहे ये ग्रामे यार घरे भिक्षा करे से महाजने कुर्मे याइची रीति तैचे कैला सर्वठाहि नीला पुनः यावत न आइला गोसाई. While on his tour, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would spend the night at the temple by the road. Whenever he accepted food from a person, he would give him the same advice he gave the Brahman named Kurma. He adopted this process until he returned to Jagannath Puri from his South Indian tour. अतः विहा कहिला करी अविस्तारा ए मत जानिबे प्रभु सर्वत्र व्यवहारा. Thus I have described the Lord's behavior elaborately in the case of Kurma. In this way, you will know Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's dealings throughout South India. Ei mata sai ratri taha rahila, prata kale prabhu snan kariya chalila. Thus, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would remain at night in one place, and the next morning, after bathing, he would start again. Prabhura anuvraji kurma bahudur aila, Prabhu tare yatna kari ghare pathaila. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left, the Brahman Kurma followed him a great distance, but eventually Lord Chaitanya took care to send him back home. Vasudeva nama ek dvij mahashaya, sarvange galit kushtha tate kida maya. There was also a Brahman named Vasudeva, who was a great person but was suffering from leprosy. Indeed, his body was filled with living worms. So leprosy, Kushtarog. His body was filled. The way of the leprosy is, and the pus is there, and it has worms. It had worms in there. And see what Vasudeva would do. Vasudeva Vipra. Anga haite ye kida khasi apadaya. Uthaya se kida rakhe sei thaya. Although suffering from leprosy, the Brahman Vasudeva was enlightened. As soon as one worm fell from his body, he would pick it up and place it back again in the same location. Now that is, if somebody has leprosy, he would rather keep on cleaning the wounds. But Vasudeva Vipra, he would pick up the worm and put it back on his wound, so the worm would not lose his nourishment. रात्रि ते सुनीला ते हो गोसाई आगमान देखी बारे आइला प्रभाते कोरमेर भवन. Then one night Vasudev heard of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's arrival, and in the morning he came to see the Lord at the house of Kurma. Now, it is not mentioned for what offense or what apara or what sin Vasudeva Vipra was going through such a terrible suffering of leprosy. But regardless, when he heard of Mahaprabhu's arrival, he came to see Mahaprabhu at the house of Kurma Brahman. But Mahaprabhu had already left. Prabhur gaman kurme mukhe te shuniya, bhumi te padila dukhe murchita aya. When the leper Vasudeva came to Kurma's house to see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was informed that the Lord had already left. The leper then fell to the ground, unconscious. Anek prakar vilap kari te lagila, sei kshane asi Prabhu tare alingila. When Vasudeva the leper Brahman was lamenting due to not being able to see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Lord immediately returned to that spot and embraced. See, Mahaprabhu understood, one devotee is waiting for me, so he came back, although he had left the house of Kurma Brahman. Prabhu sparsha dukkha sange, kushta dure gela, ananda sahite anga shundara haila. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu touched him, both the leprosy and his distress went to a distant place. Indeed, Vasudev's body became very beautiful to his great happiness. So it's not that Mahaprabhu did not show miracles. He showed plenty of miracles. But those who don't want to believe in it, what to do? So just by his touch, Vasudeva Vipra's, all the leprosy was gone and his body became very beautiful. But then, what did he say? Prabhur kripa dekhi tar vismay hai lamana, shloka padi paye dhari karestavana. The Brahman Vasudev was astonished to behold the wonderful mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he began to recite a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam touching the Lord's lotus feet. Kwaham daridra papiyan, kwa Krishna Shri Niketana, Brahma Bandhu Riti Smaham Bahubhyam Parirambita. He said, who am I, a sinful poor friend of a Brahman? And who is Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, full in six opulences? Nonetheless, he has embraced me with his two arms. This verse was spoken by Sudama Brahman in Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, in connection with this meeting of Lord Krishna. Bahustuti kari kahe shun daya maya, jive gun nahi tomate hai. More dekhi more gandhe palaye pamara, hena more sparshe toma swatantra ishvara. The Brahman Vasudev continued, O my merciful Lord, such mercy is not possible for ordinary living entities. Such mercy can be found only in you. Upon seeing me, when a sinful person goes away due to my bad bodily odor, yet you have touched me. Such is the independent behavior of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Kintu achilam bahala adhamahaya. Ebe ahankara mora janmi veashiya. Being meek and humble, the Brahman Vasudev worried that he would become proud after being cured by the grace of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. How many of us would think this way if we got this kind of mercy? Actually, we would be posting it all over Facebook and WhatsApp that, see, I got so much of mercy, I got this mercy. And Vasudeva is saying, I will become proud. प्रभु कहे कबू तुम्हार न हवे अभिमान निरंतर कहा तुम्हें कृष्ण कृष्ण. To protect the Brahman, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu advised him to chant the Hare Krishna mantra incessantly, always. By doing so, he would never become unnecessarily proud. Amazing. Krishna upadeshi kara jivera nistara, achirate Krishna toma karibe nangikara. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also advised Vasudeva to preach about Krishna and thus liberate living entities. As a result, Krishna would very soon accept him as his devotee. So although Vasudeva Vipra was a leper and had suffered greatly, still after Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu cured him, he instructed him to preach Krishna consciousness. Indeed, the only return the Lord wanted was that Vasudeva preach the instructions of Krishna and liberate all human beings. That is the process of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Each and every member of this society was rescued from a very abominable condition. But now they are engaged in preaching the cult of Krishna consciousness. They are not only cured of the disease called materialism, but also living a very happy life. Everyone accepts them as great devotees of Krishna, and their qualities are manifest in their faces. If one wants to be recognized as a devotee by Krishna, he should take to preaching work, following the advice of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then one will undoubtedly attain the lotus feet of Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Lord Krishna himself, without delay. So very, very important instructions for us to follow. Chant Hare Krishna and preach. That's all. Preaching doesn't mean we have to give Bhagavatam Saptaha or big 4, 5, 6 hours of lecture. No, even 5 minutes of preaching is good enough. 2 minutes is good enough. But just preach. We have to preach. We have to give this gift of Krishna consciousness that has been bestowed upon us by mercy of some devotee or many devotees, and ultimately mercy of Prabhupada. We have to give it out to others. Okay, I guess I can stop here. See anybody has any questions or comments?
Nice class, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Nanda. Okay, chalo. You all have a safe and wonderful day. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Ram.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.